Hello everyone and welcome into Coach Craig's Sports. This is the MLB DFS Core Pick video for Tuesday, April 15th. If you're joining me for the very first time, first of all, welcome in. Second of all, this is how today's video will be structured. We'll be going over my core picks. It's going to be one pitcher, four hitters. It's going to be based on a combination of past performance versus their respective opponent, as well as some recent history. And then after that, we'll get moved over to my cheat sheet and talk about my top GPP teams to stack for Tuesday's slate overall. And then in the morning, I'll be posting my morning injury report that will have every game that does have a double-digit chance of rain or higher listed down there. And then I will also be listing as many of these starting lineups as I can get to throughout the afternoon and early evening. Going to be more on that afternoon side since we do have a baseball game going on tomorrow, so I might miss a couple of those lineups. Do apologize for that ahead of time. But without further ado, we'll get right into it with the core picks for Tuesday. So we're going to start off at that pitcher position. I think there's a lot of good options out there once again, but I ultimately ended up on Jeffrey Springs at $9,400, averaging just under 31 fantasy points per game. Goes against Chicago White Sox. He does have some pretty good history versus them in the past, although it is a little bit limited history at that. Did not pitch against them in 2024. But if we look at what Jeffrey Springs has done so far in the season, he's got 2 wins. ERA is at 4.2, and once again averaging just under 31 fantasy points per game at $9,400. And like I said, he's had 3 starts so far this year. 2 of them have been relatively good, and then the one lone start versus the Chicago Cubs was kind of the bad one this year overall. Definitely do like his upside going against this White Sox team. Then we're going to move down to first base, and this is kind of like the off-the-beaten-path one right away. It's J.D. Davis of the Los Angeles Angels. Assuming that he is ultimately in that starting lineup, he does have really good history in the past going against expected starter pitcher in Patrick Corbin of the Texas Rangers. He's 11 for 40 with 4 home runs versus him. So that's the most amount of home runs that any hitter does have against the opposing pitcher for the slate overall. Definitely some decent upside there. $2,100 was just recently recalled from AAA where he was hitting fairly well. So definitely do like his upside if he's in that starting lineup once again, and kind of a sneaky play to roll out there just in general. Then we're going to move down to third base. This is part of the reason J.D. Davis got slid over to first base. It's Isaac Paredes at $3,200 going against St. Louis Cardinals, averaging about 11 fantasy points per game. The expected starting pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals is going to be Eric Fetty, and Paredes in his career versus Eric Fetty is 2 for 6 with 1 home run, so some decent history to be had there. He's been on quite a good hot streak as of late. He has at least 1 hit in 5 out of his last 6 games, 2 multi-hit games during that time span, 3 home runs, and 3 double-digit performances, so definitely do like him on this hot streak as of late, plus the upside that he could have versus Eric Fetty, who hasn't been quite as good to start this young season. And then lastly, we'll move down to the outfielders. We'll start off with Taylor Ward. If you were talking about hot hitters, he is one of the hottest in all of baseball right now at this point in time. He comes in at $3,500, averaging about 11 fantasy points per game. Goes against the Texas Rangers. He is 3 for 7 in his career versus Patrick Corbin. And if we look at what Taylor Ward's done as of late, he has at least 1 hit in 4 out of his last 5 games, 2 multi-hit games during that time span. All 5 of his home runs on the season have come in that last 5 games and does have 4 double-digit performances. So definitely do like the high-end upside of Taylor Ward, like into this Angel stack just in general, as there is a lot of potential going against Patrick Corbin of the Texas Rangers. And then last but not least, we're going to go down to J.J. Bleday at $2,500 going against the Chicago White Sox. Sean Burke is the expected starting pitcher for them on the mound. And J.J. Bleday in his career versus Burke, he is 2 for 2, and he's done fairly well. As of late, he's had at least 1 hit in 4 out of his last 5 games. Only 1 multi-hit game during that time span, 1 home run and 1 double-digit performance. So at the end of the day, the upside is obviously there, but does come with some pretty significant downside at the same time as well. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 players that I do currently have listed here, you will have $14,300 remaining, just under $3,600 remaining per player. So definitely a lot of room of flexibility to pay up. Obviously, having J.D. Davis in our lineup does give us the ability to do that just in general. Once again, feel free to mix and match if you don't want to play all 5 of these guys together. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my cheat sheet and talk about my top GPP teams to stack for Tuesday's slate. So in terms of the teams that I do have on my cheat sheet for today, for stacking purposes, I'm going to start off with the Los Angeles Angels. They are going against Patrick Corbin. Patrick Corbin obviously hasn't been good in quite some time, and the Angels have hit lefties pretty well, including Patrick Corbin, so definitely do like the upside out of this lineup once again. Moving over to the Los Angeles Dodgers, they are going against Ryan Feltner. Some pretty hit or miss history there in the past, but definitely do like the upside versus him once again. Baltimore Orioles going against Logan Allen. Logan Allen's been a little bit better to start the season, but in his career versus Orioles hasn't been too pretty, although it's pretty limited history at that. And then last but not least, I have the Athletics going against Sean Burke, who, hasn't had quite the greatest start to the season after a decent start one and a decent spring training, but definitely do like that A's lineup just in general. If you're interested in more notes, if you're interested in more stacks whatsoever, be sure to check out my Patreon page as well, and you'll get daily MLB DFS notes over there at the same time as well for a very, very small monthly donation. But with that being said, that's what I do have in terms of my core picks as well as top GPP teams to stack for Tuesday, April 15th. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to drop them down in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. And then once again in the morning, I'll be listing my weather report, which will have any game that does have a double-digit chance of rain or higher. We'll try to update that throughout the day, as well as many of these starting lineups as I can get to throughout the afternoon. So definitely be on the lookout for all that, especially as we do get closer to lock. But with that being said, if you are brand new to my channel, checking out for the very first time, or have yet to subscribe, please consider doing so. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now, we have MLB DFS in terms of the core pick video Monday through Friday. Have my UFL DFS video coming out once a week. Typically, that's been coming out on Wednesdays, and we'll be dropping some additional NFL draft content as we do lead up to the actual NFL draft. And then last but not least, if you're interested in sports betting, if you're interested in prop betting whatsoever, be sure to check out the links and promo codes down in the description below for BetUS, Parlay Play, and Prize Picks. If you're a brand new user on any one of those three sites, when you sign up, make your initial deposit, you will get a first match deposit bonus. For Prize Picks and Parlay Play, it's 100% match up to $100. And then for BetUS, it's 125% match up to $2,000. So some pretty great opportunities to be had out there. If you have any other additional questions related to that whatsoever, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's down in the comment section of this video or on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport, and would be more than happy to help you with that journey as well. But with that being said, that's all that I truly have for today's video. Definitely do appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. Definitely means a lot to me. I hope that each and every one of you have a great rest of your day and some pretty good luck in MLB DFS for Tuesday, April 15th.